Hi guys, and welcome to the Raw Light podcast. I am actually really annoyed because I had 9 minutes in and my cat decided to walk on my laptop and basically mess up all the audio, so I had to delete the whole thing and start again. So today I thought we would go in and speak about motherhood, becoming a mum, nutrition while you are working through your hormones, what it was like for me becoming pregnant, and also where my mental health was at when I was pregnant, to then going into giving birth, to then starting our journey as, me and my husband working through what it's actually like to have a child and work through the challenges of communication and navigating that. And Josh also navigating my emotionals, because it's huge on males, the emotional turmoil that women go through after birth and after, it's huge and they really do need a lot of support. And it is really important that they get that support from their husband. He is the main carer of the house for a while when a baby is born. And a lot of people always kind of look up and see, some mums, and they say, well, why do you look so good after postpartum? You look incredible. It's because the husbands are helping out a lot more. And Josh helped me as much as he could, but he was still learning and I was still learning. If anything, from 6 months onwards, we figured out our communication enough and figured out, the baby wants the mum for the first 12 months to 2 years. So it's a lot on the mum. So it's just about the mum communicating to the husband what they need. The husband doesn't understand always what they need because men can't read minds. Remember that, ladies. Men cannot read minds. It's not easy for them to read the situation, especially if you know your husband is a very helpful man. Just speak to them and communicate to them and say, hey, I really do need more help. Is there a way we can work something out? They will figure it out, okay? They will. In their innate feelings, men want to men want to please women and help them and help the situation and fix the situation. So giving them the opportunity to fix it instead of trying to fix it yourself will change a lot. So going back to what I was actually saying in the other podcast before my cat sat on my screen, was that when I found out that I was pregnant, it was such a beautiful transition. I was so excited to become a mum, but there was a lot of hormonal ups and downs for me. I felt so, so high and so, so low at the same time. My hormones were so happy, like I was so happy to be having a baby. My nutrition was at its best. I was going to Pilates 3 times a week, doing yoga, doing my meditations for an hour a day and stuff like that. And I am a very realistic mum and person. And whenever my mum friends who are having babies now have spoken to me, if you want to talk to me about something, you know that I am the realist friend. I am the person who's very much like, it is absolutely incredible. It is the most joyful thing. I love Oakley to bits, but no one tells you about the anxiety, the anger, the frustration, the confusion, the depression. There's lots of different things that people don't talk about. That babies go through growth leaps every, what is it, 4 to 6 months. Then sometimes babies can go through it from 6 months to 8 months, and then 8 months to 9 months, and 10 months to 12 months. There's so much growth in the first year that people don't talk about as well. That is huge on parents, and some parents don't even realize it's a leap. It was never talked about in the day that kids develop so much within the first 12 months that you do have to just be as gentle and patient on them and on yourself and let go of control the best you can. If anything, being a parent, not being in control has been the best thing for me, and I actually like it. But sometimes I feel like I know when I creep into that mode because I go into a stress mode of like, no, this shouldn't be happening. We should be doing this. We should be doing that. If I have a structure, for me, I like to be in that structure. And also, babies, I don't care what people say, babies do like structure, okay? Babies like to have support and know that they are deeply loved, and know that when they have structure at that young age, they feel safe within themselves. Even if it is one thing that you do that you repeat every day, that makes them feel secure. So even if you go anywhere, go traveling, do anything, do that one same thing, they will feel safe and secure. I've never had any issues with Oakley when it's come to her sleeping and those types of things because of how I chose to go about certain things. And like I have said to my friends who are becoming parents and stuff like that, there will be 1,000 people trying to give you advice. I remember when I was pregnant and there were so many people giving me who have very old advice, I would say. I have very new aged advice. It mixes in with, like I channel a lot. So for me, I'm constantly connected with my archives and constantly connected with my soul. So I know exactly how I wanted to, go down the route of being a parent with Oakley. It's very much letting her be her own little person, but still be a parent. You can let your child be a kid and have their own voice, but still be the parent. Step in when needed, protect your child when needed. It is really important to do that so they feel safe as they grow up. If you give them too much leniency, sometimes they don't feel safe, depending on the child, depending on the circumstances. But we also do child ourselves again. We re-child ourselves when we have a baby and a child. That's why it's important to do the inner child work before you have children, so that when you do have children, that it's not going to be as in your face from your childhood, or if you've had any really bad trauma or anything like that, that you look after it now, so that before you jump in, you're also clearing your DNA line from like your mum to your grandma to your great grandma, all the way down the line of females, healing and clearing anything that was a bit of a pattern. For example, if your mum had postnatal depression and her mum had postnatal depression or anxiety or those types of things, helping clear that, helping shift that. I cleared and shifted mine, but I still had certain aspects pop up that I noticed to shift and change. And I've also noticed with myself as well that I only remember me getting in trouble as a child. I don't remember all the good things as well. So, you know, it's really important to remember that all these things come up when you do have a child. A lot of people, I really don't understand. Like, I honestly can't comprehend why people aren't honest about parenting, why people and women really struggle to. I know the reason why. I know that it's because we've been built into a society of where women have to pretend they're strong all the time and they're amazing and they're incredible and look at me, I can do this and I can do that. But where's the truth about it? Where's the truth about that it is fucking hard? That even having one child is a bit tough sometimes, having two is challenging, having three is challenging, but it doesn't matter. If you choose to still have four to three children, that's fucking fantastic and that's great. But why aren't we honest about some days it's really tough, some days it's really challenging? And that's a metaphor for life, right? Life is challenging some days. Life is going to get up in your grill and be like, hey, look at us. We're going to teach you a lesson today. Children are very, very, they can teach us so much as adults. Most adults, you know, the one thing that my middle brother said to me once that he learnt from our mentor was, if you take the boy out of the man, you get a stale man. Just a stale man. He doesn't know how to play anymore. He doesn't know how to show his kids how to have fun. It's really important for men to really to interconnect to their innate being of being a father. They want to provide, they want to have fun. Kids love playing with their dads. Mums don't have the energies. Mum are the nurturers, they're the looking afters. They can be fun too, obviously, but they are also mainly the nurturers that come into play for a really long time. And the dads they actually get a hormone release when they play with their children. It's really incredible. So you guys by now would know that I jump backwards and forwards from things, from stories to really explain things. So being in my pregnancy, I had things from like thrush that would come up a lot. I had low iron, so I was on eating a lot more meat, eating a lot of like kidneys and those types of things. I never had a iron infusion, but I definitely had iron tablets and upped my iron. A lot. Even though I was eating a lot, I felt like that I couldn't keep up with that at all. I feel like I didn't give myself enough rest, like I didn't sleep enough. I just felt like I was constantly on edge all the time. my sleep basically, I reckon I didn't sleep for my whole last trimester. So the last 6 to 8 weeks, I did not sleep at all. I was so uncomfortable, which most people would say that they do start to get really uncomfortable. But I was quite big, and Oakley was born 10 days early, which I thought she would. I just knew inside myself that she was going to come early. And sometimes I wonder if she did come a little bit too early, as in like she was ready to come, she was cooked, but I wonder if it was a bit too early for me. But that was just my purpose and everything that I've been going down. So I actually had a really cruisy pregnancy with not like barely any problems, but I was very big and puffy. And even though I drank 3 liters of water a day and walked every single day, I probably didn't get enough exercise for me and my body. And also, I ate a lot of carbs. My body was craving carbs. And a lot of people always said to me, whatever your body wants when pregnant, give it to it. And within reason, but give it to it. Your body needs that for a certain reason. Now, after knowing my nutritional and hormonal course and balance, I probably would do and eat the way that I am eating right now. I guess I was, but I wasn't really aware, and it was basically like, so things happen when you work on yourself, and I've been this in on my own self journey, for years and years, and spiritual journey for years and years, for the purpose of coming back to myself and teaching. I feel like that there's, when you're kind of like studying something and then you read a piece of information, or information gets given to you and it like basically awakens in your mind something that you've always known. That's literally what this nutritional course has done for me. So I've been doing it for probably on and off, because it's like quite a big course for a bit. And I basically eat the way that she talks about, but not enough fruit, not enough water, and also not enough black rice and those types of things. I always knew that a lot more. I didn't realize that a lot more protein. I did eat that way anyway, but a lot more protein in your diet and a lot more greens. And I'm a massive savory person, so for breakfast I don't like oats and all those types of things. I legit will eat anything savory. So I just basically create a savory dish for breakfast. So that might be rice with bok choy, and I love all the Chinese sort of like dishes, like the Chinese cabbages and those types of things. So I add them in with a bit of onion, olive oil, sweet potato. I grate sweet potato and add it in there like little potato rosti sort of thing with some eggs. And that is just as healthy as eating oats, if not better. So I have that for breakfast, and then for lunch I have something similar, and then for dinner the same as well. But it like ebbs and flows. Some nights we might have lasagna, then the next day I'll just make sure I adjust. And this is also because my hormones, after giving birth and before giving birth, I had really bad migraines like 3 to 4 days before my period, like throbbing, disgusting, wanting to vomit migraines that used to put me off getting my period, and I used to fucking hate it, like absolutely hate it. So yeah, I basically really got sick of it. And recently, because I have Oakley, I was like, I can't keep going backwards and forwards from this. So I cut out caffeine, I've cut out sugar, and basically my body can't handle it anyway. With the work that I do, my body actually has to be super clean, or I actually get very sick. Um, that just shows all the toxins that are genuinely in the world when it comes to food and how you put in your body. I genuinely energetically get really unwell if I don't eat healthy. My body thrives off that. And also exercise. I wasn't doing enough exercise for my body and my period to rebalance out again. Your hormones need you to move them. They need you to shift anything. And literally in the last week, I have noticed that in the last week, I have noticed that I am a day or two off my period, and I am a lot more balanced. I'm still tired, but I'm not as low as what I have been. Like sometimes I used to get really, really low, like very, very low, and then really, really high and would cry all the time. doesn't mean that I'm a perfect emotional person. I'm not. I've still got my little bit of, I feel a little bit tired today, I got a little bit annoyed at Josh yesterday, but I didn't get as angry and aggressive as I have been. It hasn't been this big high and then this big whack of a low. It's actually been pretty good. Even Josh mentioned something about it, and it's only been the first month of me doing it. It takes about 3 months. But yeah, so basically I noticed that before I got pregnant, I was eating reasonably well. I had Juice Plus, and I actually reckon that's why Oakley was just basically huge and a really, really healthy. She was very healthy baby. And I think that was because of the nutrition I was giving her while pregnant. I didn't cut anything out of my diet. I just made sure everything was cooked very, very well. I ate deli meat out of a packet. I was not stressing. I was eating cheeses. I was doing my thing. Oakley is a very, very healthy and happy kid, and I am very, very happy with how I went about things. But that was my personal choice. I don't have a lot of fear in my life. Fear stored in the body can cause a lot of sickness and a lot of disease. Um, it is very, 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 it's getting scientifically proven as well. If you don't believe that, research it and have a little look up. Fear can definitely energetically be stuck in the body, especially for women. If there's a lot of anger in her womb from when she got sexually assaulted, or from her past generational down from their parents, that can cause ovarian cancer, breast cancer, same thing. There's lots of things that people think that is just man, basically it is man-made, but it is also on a spiritual level as well. You can clear it and clean it, so that we make sure that we keep our bodies nice and clean and do lymphatic massages and all sorts of those things. So basically, through my pregnancy, I was, like I said, a bit big. Sorry, I'm just gonna have a sip of my tea. It's the only time that I get to kind of like have my tea, record, and sit here while Oakley is sleeping, which is only like 45 minutes in the morning. So during my pregnancy, I did not enjoy it by the end of it because I felt so high and so low with emotions, and I was so big that I was ready for Oakley to come out. Like I couldn't, honestly, I just laid on the couch most days and felt really just like not fantastic. I felt like I also died and relived 1,000 times becoming a mum. Felt like there was so many awakenings that I had while being pregnant. And then when Oakley came, I got cut to get her out when I was at home. I had a home birth. My midwife was amazing. She just had to, what was interesting about that was she actually had to pop three bubbles of water inside. Like I was laboring really hard, and then it got to a point where Oakley was starting to come down, and there was three like bubbles that were there that she had to go in and she had to pop. And as soon as she popped those three bubbles, I felt lighter, but also Oakley started to come very quickly. So my labor was only 12 hours. I was really lucky, but I did have to have a little cut for her to come out, which was fine. I would have preferred that than a tear. And they stitched me up really well and looked after me very, very well. But my body wouldn't stop shaking for like 3 to 4 days after. I was in such shock after having a baby. It was like my body just did not expect it. It was so shocked. It was like a reawakening of myself, because of how it happened. And it was quite, for me, it felt like it was a bit traumatic. It wasn't like in the sense of I didn't have the power to say yes or no to say things. It was just literally that it felt like it was never going to end, for one. And two, it really did feel like I was in a bit of unknown territory because Oakley was a bit bigger for my hips, and I did every position you can think of. The one position that helped was me going on the toilet, Josh sitting behind me and pushing down. Now, Josh was a fucking trooper through labor. He loved it. He was like, I loved watching you go through labor. We talked about it last night. He was like, absolutely loved watching you go through labor. I loved like being in that process. He's a very supporting husband. I love him so much. We have just gotten to a point in our relationship where things are very solid and we have worked so fucking hard to get here. Um, but yeah, so it's a reflection on us as well because we're 4 years in our relationship and Oakley is a month off being one. So, but after I gave birth, my body was not coping well. It had like diarrhea and it was just not, it wasn't great. It was not, I couldn't keep up with the breastfeeding and food. I was so tired that I was never hungry. Um, But now I realize that I probably should have just ate every 3 hours and ate exactly how I'm eating right now. So I wanted to share this journey that I'm on. If anybody is wondering what course I've been doing, it's Nikki Gonda, Nikkighonda. I highly recommend her. I started following her when she was like the first, I was one of her first OG followers. I messaged her like 6 months back. She was like, oh my God, you're one of the OG followers from like years. I think it was like 2013 or something. And she was like, thank you. And I was like, no, thank you. She does an incredible job with hormones and women and nutrition. And I genuinely just think that it's really good to have a look in general if you've had a baby or you're about to have a baby, because of some of the stuff that she teaches, talks about what your body needs. But let me talk about this as well. There is certain women that you can connect with that actually talk about depletion after having a baby. There is a book that I have suggested that I will have a look right now at what it is for you guys. So just bear with me for like 2 seconds. So let's have a little look here. So basically, there is a book that both my brother and my sister-in-law suggested to me, but then I found this course and it's worked really well. It's called The Postnatal Depletion Cure by Dr. Oscar. So he basically wrote this book for his wife because every time she would have a baby, she would just feel so depleted, go super depressed, and he would really wanted to, he was a doctor and he was like, I need to do better and help her, and I want to find the best nutritional way to support her through postpartum 12 months after having a baby. So he did all this research. So that book is absolutely incredible. I have not personally read it. My sister-in-law has read it and my brother has read it as well. And they said definitely suggest it. So that's my next book to get onto when I get my Kindle. But see, these are the things that we don't talk about. Women don't talk about enough. They don't realize that they're depleted in something, or they're angry and snappy, or they're not communicating, or, there's lots of things going on when you are or you have just become a mum. You are literally, and also, guys, women's senses, your ears are so sensitive to their cry, it can freak you out, and you can come in all huffy and puffy and like freaked out, like, what have you done to the baby? What's going on? Like, I used to do that with Josh because I couldn't leave her. I would go have a shower and she would just scream without me. And honestly, it was the most traumatic thing for me at the start because I was like, she's just screaming and screaming and screaming. She still screams now when she's hurt herself. She's such a little sweetheart. She will literally let you know she's hurt if she's hurt herself. She's a very, very sensitive little bubba. But yeah, so there's lots of different things that I feel like I can jam pack into this episode of, like, things that people don't talk about. Like sometimes the anger that comes up because you get frustrated because you can't get them to sleep. I've had mum friends and myself included punch into pillows and take a break because we've just needed to have that break and then go back in there and we're calm. That's how you regulate yourself when you are becoming a parent, because you can't just go in there and shake the baby, or because it's not acceptable. So you have to look after your child, but you have to also look after the mum. And I feel like the mum is very looked over after postnatal. Oh, so how's the baby? How's the baby going? Well, how's the mum going? Does she need help? What does she need? How is her mental health? What is she going through? Like those types of things. Does she need more nourishment? How can you help? And also, it's really hard on husbands too, because you've gone from this person that they've known, outgoing, bubbly mum, wife that they've loved. You guys have lots of sex and enjoy each other too, basically not being able to touch each other. I remember through my pregnancy, we couldn't have sex much. I was huge and it did not feel good for me by the end of it. So, these are the things that people are like, oh, we shouldn't talk about that. So taboo. Like, stop thinking that these things are taboo. This should be naturally spoken about. We should be talking more to bring awareness around parents and those types of things. And also, one thing I want to talk about is, I know that a lot of parents, when they fall pregnant, they always say, but it's not the right time, or it's not in the right way that I was thinking. It's never going to be. Babies are an absolute gift from God. They will come when they are ready. If you're in a relationship and you're like, oh, I'm not sure, iffy, and it comes or it happens, it is very, very much a gift from God, okay? And The baby knows when to come. Let me just say that. The baby knows when to come. It is not going to come on your timeline. It's coming on their timeline. It is already written for them when to come. Okay? It's already written in stone when they will come, what baby and vibration they will come at. It is already done. Okay? This is really important to remember. So yeah, just remember there's lots of different things playing here when it comes to children and those types of things. Sorry guys, I moved my laptop and you probably heard a big ruffling noise then. But yeah, there is so much at playing here, guys, when it comes to babies and parents and children and, you know, all those types of things. It's really important to remember that they come at their own time as well, when they're ready. Not when you're ready, when they're ready. Okay? And I can definitely say that because I still felt like a bit on the fence when we decided to have a baby. I was like, yeah, I think so. I think I'm ready, but I was still really scared and nervous because I was like, it is literally going to change everything. But Josh didn't understand that because I had said to Josh, babe, this is the last time it's ever going to be us two, ever, ever. Like, you're always going to have a child in and out of your life. Even if they move away, they're still going to be there. They're your child. They're there forever. You know, it's never going to be just you two ever again. And he was so excited about having a baby. You know, we've talked about it now, and he did say I probably should have really enjoyed where we were at because, you know, you want to enjoy each moment being present in each section and not rush everything that comes. Allow things to unfold. They're the best things that happen. So, yeah, I really believe that we sometimes do rush in this world for things, and we need to remember that it's not going to happen always on the terms that you want and how you think. It's really important to let go of everything. For my pregnancy and my birth, I literally had to let go of everything. Like, if I end up in hospital, that's fine. Here's are my conditions if I do end up in hospital. You do have a say, by the way, in hospital if there's something you do and you don't want. They're very aggressive with mums and about how they want things to be because it's very much built into the hospital system. And I don't have any issues with hospitals, guys. I love them. Oakley had to go to hospital like seven, oh, when was it? Like 3 months ago. She swallowed a zip and had to go to hospital. You know, so we had to figure out if she would poo it out or something. You know, it's natural to do that for those things, and I'm very grateful for it. But also time and place, yeah. And also, a lot of women are choosing not to have babies or go into hospitals anymore because of the conduct and how they're being treated. It's not, people aren't putting up with it anymore. They're not putting up with the bullshit, and the hospitals aren't moving with the times. Anyways, I'm not saying that everybody does this, but it is very common and it is very seen. So, yeah, I wish that when I gave birth, my emotions were absolutely everywhere. Obviously, it's going to be. You just had to carry a baby inside you, and the baby is taking a lot on. They've got their own emotions, your own emotions, and it's a lot for you. You know, Josh really struggled with supporting me in my emotions. He didn't know how to. He knew how to physically be there and give me food and make sure I was okay. He was tired himself, but I really needed him to be. I have said to him, I really needed you to be there emotionally for me. And it was a massive growth period for both Josh and myself. We were very much still felt like we were very new. We were still like going from, both of us were going from Josh was going from young man to father, and I was going from young woman to mother. And you do go through a transformation. There's no doubt about it. You become a different person, and um, it has taken us until now, nearly 12 months, to really solidify us in our couple and relationship. We argued a lot, we disagreed a lot, we yelled a lot, and we are in a really good place. If you listen to my last podcast, like I said, we literally have now learned how we communicate. We take the time and the breath and we're very new. You know, Josh has never been in a relationship before. I'm his first relationship. We've done everything together, you know, from his point of view, whether for me, it's second nature to me, as in like, I am very open with emotions. I'm open with communication. You know, I've had to be very patient, very gentle, very, you know, I can be very pushy sometimes because I can see and feel where we need to go and what we need to do, but Josh has done immense growth in the last couple of years, and so have I myself. I've needed to learn and grow a lot of things as well, and know that I played a huge role in the fact of how he was reacting and how I was saying it to him and how he was getting upset and biting back at me. So it was really funny. I'm a Leo, he's a Pisces, and we always talk about how he cools me down and I fire him up. And now we do have arguments, but it's quick and easy now. It's like we talk about it, we move on very fast. Josh isn't dismissing things anymore and those types of things. We are just working through them, and I'm also not jumping down his throat anymore. And I also like to take responsibility from the fact I played a huge role in it too. So, even though I'd been in relationships, when you're in a real relationship that you feel is both two people growing together, and you understand that it is a growth relationship, that you really do push each other's buttons and push each other to the next level, if that makes sense. So, these are the things that, like I said, people don't talk about in relationships. You get pushed to the edge. You both, I think it was like within the first 12 months of parents becoming parents, a lot of people get divorced. It is very common for people to get divorced in America anyway for the first 12 months. There's like 80% rate that people end up getting divorced, even if they've been together for 13 or 14 years, because there becomes a new way of communicating and people don't want to budge and learn and be with each other and have a child and grow and still learn and advance themselves. They would rather out and go back to the new stages of love. So there is 5 to 6 phases, they reckon, that people go through. And only about 90% of couples end up going through the third phase, and then they go back to stage 1 because they really don't want to grow. And that's fine, because a lot of people in this life are on their own journey, right? They're in their own journey, and a lot of people don't actually want to grow and move. But unfortunately, with the way the earth's moving and the way the energy's moving, you're going to have to, because it's really going to push you to want to grow and really want to push you to advance yourself. That's why in the last probably 4 or 5 years, a lot of couples have split up, because they have been pushed to their max and they've realized that it's not the right coupleship for them, or one person's not going to grow, or they're not going to get the next thing. All I can say is having a baby with Josh has been one of the most incredible journeys that I've been on. I cannot obsess about how incredible as a dad and husband he is to me and Oakley. And I know he has said to me lately, that he is grateful for the wife and the mum that I am, and that means the world to me as well. But it means that we're gelling together, and we have worked very hard and been in lots of hard patches to work through it. So that is kind of the gist of what I wanted to go through. And just the nourishing part of the body and the nutrition of the body is highly important in postpartum. One, because, and also, even if the baby needs to be on the mum, take the baby from the mum if you're the husband, or you're trying to talk to your husband and explain this. It is really important that the mum gets a bit of time to herself, whether it's a shower or sleeping or going to the toilet or just doing something for themselves, washing their face. If you keep offering, offer, can I do this for you? Can I do that for you? What can I do for you? It makes a difference. If you feel helpless, you're helping that way. And like I said, these are the things that I wish that we had known and gone through and done those. But you basically live and you learn, and I feel like that we have been through so much to get where we are today as a couple and as a little family. So, I mean, guys, today I've touched on some pretty important things about motherhood. And one big thing that I want to stress is, I noticed for myself that I used to stress so much about Oakley sleeping so well that it used to put so much pressure on myself and like my health. And then when it didn't go my way, I would get frustrated at the fact that she wasn't doing what I wanted her to. Now, my way of parenting, I literally took bits and pieces from everywhere and everyone. We co-slept at the start when I was breastfeeding, because I was so tired that she was just on the boob and she would just sleep next to me. A part of me feels like I fought myself, and basically sometimes I think about, like, would I have been better co-sleeping with Oakley to continuously breastfeed? And then, my mum asked me the question, what does it mean to you to breastfeed? Does it mean something big to you? Does your mental health mean something big to you? And
Oakley wasn't a very good sleeper at the start. Obviously, we're very new parents. We couldn't really figure out what she needed or wanted as a little newborn baby. They like to be snug, and we'd ordered these zip up bags for Oakley, but they didn't come until like, because Oakley came early, they didn't come until when she was actually due. So we had to kind of figure that out. And I look back now and I think, no, I don't regret what I did and my choices. And if you don't know, I breastfed until 6 weeks, and then my milk dried up. And I think a lot of that was due to stress and not sleeping and not eating properly, and a lot of things as well, because my boobs were, like I said, really full when Oakley was born. They were huge, massive. I had lots of milk. One side was more bigger than the other. Um, but yeah, I definitely think that I wasn't coping with sleeping very well. And Oakley also, she measured lower, basically, it was nearly a month that she kept, going like getting lower. My breast milk wasn't giving her enough. So that's why I also chose to go to formula. Now, the formula that I use is Mumma Moo, and I recommend it highly. It's got a probiotic in it, and it did us so well. Um, I love it and loved it like a lot. So for anybody asking, it's Mama Moo. It's really good if you choose to go down the same pathway as us. And like everything was felt stressful at the start too. Like, I'm gonna just go back to the co-sleeping thing. Oakley sometimes does co-sleep with us, not as much these days, but if she's teething or she really can't sleep, I'm more than happy to put her in bed with us. I actually enjoy snuggling with her, but I literally get kicked in the face. I get kicked in the face. She sleeps on her tummy, so she's constantly moving. She slept on my head once. Like, it's just, for us, it's really uncomfortable. And I know that a lot of people kind of say that they would rather sleep with their baby than their husband, but I really love sleeping with my husband. After a really hard day with Oakley, I need the space with my husband just to reset. And it's not because she's done anything wrong, it's just because I'm a mum. We live on a farm at the moment. I don't actually have any space. She is with me basically 24/7, and I mean 24/7. I get up to her during the night, I do all those things. You know what? We've been pretty lucky. Like, I kind of trained Oakley when she was younger. I wouldn't even say trained, but she doesn't cry when she wakes up. She just basically talks to herself for a little bit and then puts herself back to sleep. And the only time I ever go in there is when she really, really cries, because sometimes she just cries once and then goes to sleep. That's always what she's done since she was a little girl. I've never ever left her in the cot crying, because that for me didn't work for me. I personally don't like that. I go in there and I rub her back and, help her fall asleep. Um, that's the way that we've started doing it as she's gotten older, because um yeah, I've tried to have her sleep on me and she actually doesn't like it. She's actually gets more upset trying to sleep on me and settle than being able to sleep in her own space in her cot, which she loves her little cot. So that's just how we've chosen to do it, and there's nothing wrong with that. My beautiful sister-in-law, my oldest brother's wife, co-sleeps, and they've done it. This is their second time doing it, and I think it's absolutely amazing. And wonderful that they do that. We basically can't do that, though. I just feel like for my own mental health, I can't do that. For me as well, and I like my space and stuff like that. And I know my time would come again eventually, but I've just chosen that would that doesn't work for us anyways. And I've had conversations with other friends, and it just doesn't work for us. So yeah, whatever you choose to do as a new mum, just remember, and this is something that my other brother said to me, my middle brother, he said, pick your pain. So, like for us, we chose dummies, and Oakley's like done well with dummies. She loves dummies. She loves her dummies. She absolutely loves her dummies. She tried to stick two in her mouth the other day. She loves dummies, and that's also for us. We've never had to rock her. We've always just stuck her dummy in, and she's gone to sleep. So we've chosen that, and she still does that now. I just make sure when she goes to sleep, she's got a couple in there, and if she wakes up during the night, I'm happy to go in there and pop it in there for her, because that's just that's her comfort. I guess you could say we chose that than having to pick her up and comfort her and pop her down. But she's not ever upset. She's never, unless she's going through a growth period, is when she gets really upset, and then I'll pick her up and give her really, really good nurturing and what she needs in that week or whatever. And you just follow your baby and what you need to do. So I'm just going to leave it at that, because I could just go on and on all day about things. But all I want to say is make sure you have your mum friends. Find mum friends that you love and that have similar thoughts to you. I have a good bunch that we basically found each other not from mums groups but from other groups and other things that we've done from swimming and other things. And I love my mum friends. We have helped each other literally through everything. Find some that have kids like 6 months before, find people that are still pregnant, those types of things, because you can all help and support each other. Like yesterday, I'll read you a couple of messages that I got from some of my friends. So some of my mum friends sent me messages yesterday, and they're actually so freaking cute. One of my girlfriends said, "Hi, beautiful girl. Happy Mother's Day. Honestly, am beyond grateful for you. My motherhood journey would have felt very differently without you in it. Thank you for being so giving, so constant, and full of love." And I think like we need that from mums. We need that support. We need that reassurance that we're in this with somebody else. And having other mums is so good, because like husbands can't take on all our things as well. So yeah, it's really important. And one of my other friends, actually, she said, "Happy Mother's Day, Danielle. So glad you're being mothers is what led me being lovers being mothers is what led me to you. You're inspiring. Have a good day." It's really beautiful, and I sent some really beautiful ones back. They're all my really good, beautiful friends, and I love them very much. Yeah, and yeah, I just gonna leave it like that. But yeah, that's my little motherhood episode for today. I'm sorry if like I was talking for like the first, I don't know if it was the first 30 minutes and then the last 10 minutes. I've kind of gone on from what I thought I should go on with, because I had to stop it halfway through because Oakley the first time woke up from her nap and she's just woken up again. So I'm going to leave you with that, guys. Happy Mother's Day to all the beautiful mums, if you're listening, if you're a mum here, and all the mums to be, and if you're wanting to be a mum. Also, if you don't want to be a mum, that is totally fine as well if you're listening to this podcast, but you've probably realised that as you've gone through this, if you're not wanting to listen to it. But yeah, this is just from my point of view and what I've learnt over the last 12 months from becoming a mum. I'm still very new, obviously. Only in my first year. We'll see how we go in the next 2 to 3 years. And then the other thing that a lot of people have asked us quickly before I go is, how many kids are we wanting to have and when are we having our next one? We are wanting two. We've decided two is a good mix, possibly three, but I think two is fine for us. I feel that energetically as well, just two for us. I feel like our next baby will probably be a boy. But I'm not going to put that down we might go along and then decide just to do a third, but I'm not sure. We said two at the moment, and not for a couple of years. We would like to spend some time with Oakley and build some good, strong connections with her before we have our next baby, because I really do personally believe in that connection with the first child to then bring in the other children. So have a wonderful week, guys, and I'll speak to you next week. Let me know if you like this episode. Also, if you could rate this episode, that would be wonderful, or rate this podcast. It means a lot to me that a lot of you are listening to this. I actually can see a lot of you are listening to it, so I'm really grateful. And I hope you guys have a beautiful rest of your week, and see you next week.